I woke up tied to a chair with no clue where I was. This was bad, really bad. I wasn't alone, someone was there. Who's there, whoever you are? I swear when I get free, I'll knock your teeth out. Aver, you thought you get away with what you did to me, not by a long shot, I'll make you pay. Avery, and I promise to make you suffer. Oh no, I knew that voice too well right then. I've regretted every choice that led me here because now I was in danger, serious danger.
Yeah.
I'm stalking the hot guy, so what? Just look at him ever since I set foot in high school. Luca's been the only one on my radar, but to him I'm invisible. Then there's Natasha, his almost ex. She's steaming every time someone looks at him, but that's about to change. I'm not here to blend in, I'm here to take him from her. So one day I started out of the bathroom with toilet paper trailing behind me. Yeah, the hallway was buzzing with whispers, but I played it cool, did it? Work, you bet. He finally noticed, and Mr. Knight and Shining Armor came to my rescue. Hey, you've got a little situation back there. Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. Thank you for telling me. No problem, could have been anyone. He noticed. Game on, time to turn. Up the heat. A month had passed, and Luca and I became friends, but there was a problem. Natasha was still hanging on. I had to change that. Sometimes you have to play dirty. Watch it. I stay away from my boyfriend. Natasha, I said I was sorry. You didn't have to push me so hard. Finally, I had Luca's full attention. Natasha, we're done. I can't be with someone so cruel. Natasha was fuming, but I had won you. Okay, I looked rough. I'm okay thanks to you. That was just a lot. Hook, line and sinker. Luca was falling for it, and Natasha was history. Come on, Avery. I'm giving you a ride home, no arguments. Okay, if you insist. This was getting complicated. I had to be careful. Thanks, Luca. I'll get off here. Are you sure? I can walk you to the door. I had to shut that down fast. No, really, it's fine. My dad, he's strict. He wouldn't like it. Yeah, I get it. My dad's the same. Oh, Luca, if you only knew how well I knew your dad. The moment I walked in, he was their agent. Roger's my handler. Avery, letting him drop you off, you could have blown our cover. You thought it was just some stalker cheek, not even clothes. I'm an FBI agent, and Luca, he's my mission. Hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see me catch the bad guy without blowing my cover or my cool. Trust me, it's about to get wild. I had been training for this since I was 15. While most kids were worried about high school drama, I was learning how to fight, shoot, and blend in. This is your target, Luca Moretti, son of Dawn. Moretti, the biggest crime lord in the city. We need you to get close to him, gain his trust, and help us bring down the Moretti empire. From the inside, the mission was going as planned. I was in his circle, and he was starting to see me as more than just a friend. One day, everything changed. I didn't expect it to happen so fast. Out of nowhere, a car sped around the corner heading straight for us. I couldn't move. Avery, watch out. Luca didn't hesitate. He saved me. Are you okay? Yeah, I think so. I couldn't let anything happen to you. I didn't even think. I just leaned in, feeling the soft warmth of his lips against mine. He pulled me into his arms, and the kiss grew deeper, wrapping us in a moment. I never wanted to end everything I wasn't supposed to feel after that day. I wasn't sure what to do. I told myself Luca was just a mission. My one and only objective. Falling for him was absolutely not an option, but he wasn't making it easy. The way he would look at me, those intense, searching gazes. It was getting complicated. One day, the constant pressure of my double life became too much. I needed a break from his attention, a moment to just breathe and remember who I was. At the university library, with its towering shelves and hushed silence, seemed like the perfect sanctuary. I found a secluded corner hidden away among dusty old books and finally let myself relax, but the peace didn't last long. A familiar voice cut through the silence. "I was looking all over for you." I looked up, and there he was, Luca, with a triumphant smile on his face. "Finally found you." A small smile played on my lips. "You always do," I replied, my voice softer than I intended. He leaned against the bookshelf, his presence filling the small space. So he started, his tone casual, but his eyes serious. "There's a party at my place this weekend, and I'd like you to be my date." My heart skipped a beat. A party at his place meant one thing. Don Moretti would be there. This was it. This was the opportunity I had been waiting for, the chance to get inside the lion's den. I could sneak away, explore the mansion, and find what the FBI needed. My own father, the one who raised me to be an agent, would never know the risks I was taking. It was perfect. "Great," I said, trying to keep my voice even. "I'll send you the address." He smiled, a genuine happy smile that made my stomach do a little flip. I was in, the mission was finally on track. It was time to make my move. The night of the party arrived, and the Moretti mansion was even more opulent and intimidating than I had imagined. Crystal chandeliers dripped from the high ceilings, and powerful people in expensive clothes mingled, their laughter echoing through the grand halls. But I wasn't there to admire the decor. I was there to gather all the dirt I could for the FBI. We needed solid, irrefutable proof to finally take Don Moretti down. And tonight, the weight of the entire operation was resting on my shoulders. I scanned the crowd, my eyes finally landing on Luca, who was standing with his father in a quieter corner of the room. This was my chance. I had to get closer, had to hear what they were discussing. Casually making my way towards them, I pretended to be fascinated by a painting on the wall, positioning myself just close enough to overhear their conversation. "Dad," Luca was saying, his voice filled with a hopeful pride, "I scored top marks on my senior year exams, and I've applied to Ivy League schools. Just waiting for the results." Don Moretti scoffed, swirling the dark liquid in his glass. "It's Ivy League. You think that impresses me?" "That's kid stuff, Luca. You want to impress me? Handle the red serpent's deal for me." Luca's face fell. "But they're dangerous. That gang is known for its violence, Dad." Don Moretti's voice turned to ice. "So, are you scared? You're a Moretti. Start acting like one." He didn't even give Luca a second glance as he turned and walked away, leaving his son standing there, completely shattered. Just then, Luca looked up and his eyes met mine. For a split second, my professional detachment dissolved and my heart genuinely ached for him. I walked over. "So, you heard all that?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. I nodded gently. "Luca, are you okay?" He let out a bitter laugh. "I'm fine. It's just, no matter what I do, it's never enough for him. I don't want any part of his empire. I want to be a legitimate businessman, you know? But he's just dragging me deeper and deeper into this life." His voice cracked. "I don't want to be a mobster, Avery." My heart went out to him. "Then be whatever you want to be," I said, my voice firm but gentle. "Don't let him pressure you. And trust me, you're doing more than enough. I might not know much about business deals, but scoring top marks in high school and getting into Ivy League contention, that's a huge win in my book." A small, grateful smile touched his lips. "Thanks, Avery. That actually means a lot, coming from you." As we stood there, surrounded by the noise of the party, it felt like we were in our own little bubble. The tension, the pretense, it all just melted away. He looked deep into my eyes, and before either of us could think twice, he leaned in. I didn't pull back. Our lips met in a deep, fervent kiss, a kiss that seemed to consume everything around us. This wasn't supposed to happen. He was just a target, a means to an end. My mission, but standing there wrapped in his arms, I couldn't deny the powerful current of emotion pulling me under. My duty was crystal clear, but my heart, it was a complete and utter mess. The next day, I was on a secure line with my handler, Agent Rogers. His voice was all business, a stark contrast to the emotional whirlwind I was trapped in. "Avery, what do you have for me?" I took a deep breath, pushing my feelings aside and focusing on the intel. "The deal with the Red Serpents, it's going down this weekend." At the warehouse on Pier 17, I hesitated for a moment before adding, "But Rogers... Luca doesn't want this. He's only doing it because his father is forcing him. He's not like them." Rogers's reply was cold and immediate. "It doesn't matter, Avery. He's part of the criminal organization. We need him to get to Don. You know the mission." I knew he was right. From a tactical standpoint, it was the only play. I had to focus on my job, on the objective, but it was so much easier said than done. When the day of the deal arrived, a knot of dread tightened in my stomach. I knew I couldn't let Luca get caught in the crossfire. He was walking directly into an FBI sting, a trap laid with my intel. I had to stop him. Mission be damned. I drove recklessly to Pier 17, my heart pounding against my ribs. I found him just outside the designated warehouse, looking nervous and out of place. I ran to him, grabbing his arm. "Luca, we need to leave. Now." He looked at me, completely bewildered. "Avery, what are you doing here? This place isn't safe. The Serpents, they're a dangerous gang." "There's no time to explain," I urged, pulling him away from the entrance. The FBI is here. They're coming for you and the red serpents. We have to go before they find us." He stopped, pulling his arm from my grasp. His confusion was turning into suspicion. "How? How do you know that, Avery?" The sirens started wailing in the distance, getting closer. There was no more time for lies. I looked him straight in the eye, my world collapsing around me. "Look, I'm with the FBI." His face went pale, a look of pure betrayal washing over him. "They're already moving in, arresting the red serpents. I can't let you get caught in this. Please, run, Luca, you have to run." For a heart-stopping moment, he just stared at me, the sounds of the raid growing louder. Then he turned and disappeared into the shadows of the alleyways. He was gone, and with him any chance I had to make things right. But I might not have done everything by the book, but at least he was safe. That was all that mattered. Right then, Agent Rogers walked up. There was no point in denying what I'd done. "What have you done, Avery?" he asked, his voice low and disappointed. 3 months had passed since that night. The red serpents were all arrested, and because of that, Don Moretti and what was left of his crew were at war. And Luca, he was still missing. He'd probably gone deep underground, hiding from all the chaos I'd helped create. As for me, I got fired from the FBI, I guess protecting a target. Even one you've grown to care about isn't exactly in the training manual. But in the end, keeping Luca safe was the only thing that felt right. Since leaving the bureau, my life had become the definition of boring. It was the same routine every single day. Wake up, go for a jog, pick up some groceries, cook, eat, sleep, and then do it all over again. It was a monotonous loop, a far cry from the adrenaline-fueled life I used to lead. But on this particular day, something felt off. I couldn't put my finger on it, but a strange sense of unease settled over me. It was like the calm before a storm. Just as I was fumbling in my bag, searching for my keys, a dark van screeched to a halt right beside me. The doors flew open, and before I could even process what was happening, before I could scream or run, a hand covered my mouth and everything went dark. When I finally came to, a sharp, throbbing pain pulsed in my head. My eyes fluttered open, adjusting to the dim, oppressive darkness. I was tied to a chair, the rough ropes digging into my wrists. The room was freezing, the air thick with the smell of damp concrete and something metallic, like rust. I was trapped, and I had absolutely no idea where I was. Then a figure emerged from the shadows. My heart leaped into my throat. Luca, but he wasn't the guy I thought I knew. He looked different. His usual warmth was gone, replaced by a cold, hard edge. His eyes, once full of a gentle light, were now dark and unreadable. This wasn't the Luca I thought I could trust, the man I had risked my career for. This was someone else entirely, someone evil. "Luca, please," I begged, my voice trembling. "Let me go. Why are you doing this?" He let out a short, humorless laugh that sent a shiver down my spine. "Why would I let you go, Avery? You made a fool of me. You humiliated me in front of my own father. Now you have to pay the price." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This couldn't be the same Luca I had fallen for. My mind reeled, trying to make sense of his betrayal. And then another figure stepped out of the darkness, his presence even more chilling. Don Moretti. His eyes were colder than a winter storm, devoid of any empathy. "This was a nightmare, Dad," Luca said, his voice flat. "I told you I'd catch her." Don Moretti circled me like a predator sizing up its prey. "So this is the little rat that started the war between us and the Red Serpents," he sneered. His gaze was terrifying. "Let's send her over to them. A little peace offering to end this messy business." My blood ran cold. They were going to hand me over to the Red Serpents, the same violent gang I'd helped put behind bars. This was bad. Really, really bad. My mind raced, searching for an escape, but there was none. Just then, the door creaked open, and a group of men walked in. The red serpent tattoos on their necks were unmistakable. They were here for me. This is it, I thought. I'm done for. My life flashed before my eyes. But as the first serpent got close, reaching out to grab me, something in Luca snapped. In a blur of motion, he knocked the guy to the ground with a single, brutal punch. He moved with a speed and ferocity I'd never seen before. Then he was at my side, his knife slicing through the ropes that bound me. "Luca, have you lost your mind?" Don Moretti roared, his face contorted with rage. I was too dazed to understand. Everything was happening so fast. 1 minute, he was my captor. The next, my rescuer. "I'm not letting anyone touch her," Luca yelled back, standing between me and the angry mob. Did I hear that right? There was no time to think. We were surrounded. We needed to fight. Adrenaline surged through me. We fought side by side, back to back. It was intense, a chaotic dance of fists and fury. For a moment, it felt like we were a team, a well-oiled machine taking them down one by one. Just when I thought we might actually have a chance, I felt the cold, hard press of a gun against my head. I froze. It was Don Moretti. I knew this was a life-or-death moment. "You betray your own blood for this girl," he spat, his voice laced with disgust. "You disgust me." Luca's eyes locked onto mine, filled with a desperate conflict. "I hate what you do," Luca said to his father, his voice shaking with emotion. "I hate everything about this life. Let her go, or I swear I'll make you pay for everything." Don Moretti just laughed, a cruel, mocking sound. "You're weak, Luca. Just like your mother, you don't have the guts to do what's necessary." That was it. That was the final push. Luca lunged, attacking his own father. I didn't know what to think, what to feel. I was scared he'd get hurt, but I was powerless to stop him. Then, like out of nowhere, the doors burst open and the room was flooded with armed agents. FBI, drop your weapons." The familiar command echoed through the warehouse. They swarmed in, efficiently taking down Don Moretti and the remaining serpents. But they didn't touch Luca. He wasn't arrested. He wasn't even cuffed. Agent Rogers approached him, clapping a hand on his shoulder. "You did good, Luca. We couldn't have done this without you." Wait, what? What was happening? I looked from Rogers to Luca, my mind a complete jumble of confusion. Rogers turned to me, his expression softening slightly. "I know this is a lot to take in, Avery. After the warehouse incident, we lost track of Don. We thought we'd never catch him. But then, Luca came forward. Luca came forward," I whispered, still trying to piece it all together. "Why?" "Don wanted you, Avery," Luca said, finally looking at me. His eyes were no longer cold, but filled with regret and a deep, aching sincerity. "You were the girl who messed up his deal. He was obsessed with getting revenge. I knew he'd never stop hunting you. So I came up with a plan to use you as bait, to lure him out of hiding." Rogers nodded. He gave us all the details we needed to be ready. "We were in on everything from the start. Avery, the van, the kidnapping. All of it was staged to make it look real." I stared at Luca, a million emotions swirling inside me. Anger, relief, confusion. "I didn't want you caught up in all this," he said, his voice soft. "I did what I had to do to protect you, even if it meant deceiving you, Luca." I was speechless. "You really did all of this to protect me?" He stepped closer, taking my hands in his. "Avery, I love you, but you're the only reason I had the strength to stand up to him. You made me see that there's a different life out there, a life I actually want." Tears welled up in my eyes as the truth finally sank in. "Luca, I love you too," I whispered. "You've always been more than just a mission to me." I threw my arms around him, holding on tight. "I'm so glad you're here with me now. All this time, I thought I was the one saving him from his father's world. But maybe, just maybe, he was saving me too."